Well, these things carry with them tremendous change in the marketplace as well, right? So recently, UnitedHealth and Medtronic reached an agreement that will transition most adult UnitedHealth enrollees to Medtronic devices. So I guess the question is, how has that decision affected the landscape? Are we moving towards essentially a situation where we're going to have formularies for devices, just like we have formularies for drugs?
Sadly, I think it's, at least sadly is my viewpoint, but I think it's somewhat inevitable because there will be competition around price and the same kind of things that happen in the pharmacy world. I don't see why it won't happen in the device world.
But is it really sadly, or if we have things that are relatively homogeneous, should we be sort of making selections based on?
Well, I think that is really what's going to be the key element of this. So there's a long history of this in pharmaceutical, where if there's two drugs out, both of which have same effectiveness and are more or less equivalent, then to have a selective formulary that allows one item to be cheaper, which gets translated both for member cost and also for the payer cost, which ultimately is premium, then clearly there can be a benefit without a detriment to care. But with devices, if there's a difference between them, as Marian was saying earlier, that becomes a much more complex issue. And so by limiting the formulary on a device, is it really equivalent, or have you limited out a particular device that maybe does add a benefit?
Goes back to your point, Dr. Kaufman, about technology and the interface with individuals and whether.
Yeah, depending on who the person is, it may be an unimportant difference. It also matters if you think population health or personal health. Our goal is, as physicians, to help that person who's in front of you. Our goal as population health people is to have the most people at the lowest cost get the best outcomes. And those are going to conflict in almost all cases. Yes. And how we as a health system ration, if you want to think of it that way, choice, how we ration access to certain elements of a medical treatment is what will keep us having an affordable, scalable, maintained health system, or one that's completely out of control. And so I think it's that delicate balance that I'll stay out of trying to make.
Do we see payment models changing too, to be more focused on outcomes? Really it's what result does one deliver, and we see that now in pharmaceuticals and some other forms of payment as well.
Value-based payment.
Yep.
Yes, without a doubt. It is the direction that the payer industry is moving towards. It's the direction that many pharma companies have already moved towards, and the device companies are looking that way as well. The idea of just paying for your treatment is one that was there in the past, but more and more the question is there a value from your drug, from your device, regardless of what it is it adding value in terms of either less expensive care or better care? And it doesn't have to be both.
And that's maybe where you might, I think one of the big controversies out there is that we traditionally in diabetes only measured A1C as a measure of improvement. And I think there's really this big movement to move beyond A1C. So if you reduce hypoglycemic episodes, well, that's probably a good thing. And that should be a metric as well.